Next time is Tacticus. This brother here that he just read from, not brother, but this man he just read about, is that he was a lawyer in Rome. He was also an author, and he was a magistrate of Rome.
A judge.
Yeah.
Now this cat right here, his name.
Before you get that, you said that they was called Christians by the
apostles,
right?
Yeah, actually.
Now in the book, in the book, it said he was called Christians by the populace.
By the outside.
By the outside. We're going to hit the Acts 11
and 26.
26.
I trip out what it says about how we first was called Christian.
Cool.
Acts 11 and 26 says the same thing that this record said, that these people were called Christian or Christ followers, because that's all Christian means. The religion Christianity is not in the Bible. That's a religion that's made up. But it was a group of people called Christian because they followed the Christ, which only means the anointed. That's all it means. It means the anointed.
Verse 26.
Now check it. It says called Christian by the populace of people that was hated for their abominations. We need to grab Acts 2 when it says how we teach things that are unlawful to observe being Romans. Remember, the doctrine of this Bible is anti-Rome, anti-America, because America carries on the agenda of Rome. It's the same thing. Capitol Hill, your Senate, all your sports, your coliseums, your laws is getting passed. America is an extension of Rome. So the gospel of this Bible is actually it's anti-Roman. It's anti-American. It ain't got nothing to do. They ain't had nothing to do. Christ wasn't walking around talking about vote for Caesar. None of that. None of that had nothing to do with what we talking about here. There's a kingdom that's coming. And that's what the heathens know that we ain't figured out yet. Christ ain't coming back to pat nobody on the back. Whoa, you feel me? None of that. It's tell you he coming back to go to war. And he's coming back to conquer the earth, give his people back rulership in the earth, and sit as king forever. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But see, that ain't beautiful for the enemies. Because they got us thinking an alien invasion finna crack the sky. See, they know he on his way. But they got you in the spirit of fighting whatever's coming. What's coming is the Lord. You know what you mean? You finna fight E.T.? Is you crazy? Some aliens? That ain't what's coming. Why you think they got all their weapons aimed out of space? Because they about to prepare to fight the Lord when he returns. That's the problem. They know what time it is, man. Rivers of water turning red all over the globe. That's Revelation 16. Earthquakes, it's over 100 earthquakes a day. Christ said that in Matthew 24. So is it real? Is it a comic book? What we talking about here? You know, 1 million fish just washed up on the shore of Iceland 2 weeks ago. 1 million fish. That's Hosea 4:3. Fish kills, birds dropping out the sky, earthquakes every day, whales washing up, rivers turning red. Did y'all see that meteor fell out the sky in Russia a couple weeks ago? They didn't even see that coming. But the Lord said it's going to be signs in the heavens. So are we to say, well, no, dog, it was all made up? These things was written down thousands of years ago, and we living in them. So either somebody made this up, or you got to call a spade a spade. It must be real.
No doubt.
It must be real. Has to be. What else explains rivers of what? 9 bodies of water have popped up blood red in the past 18 months. Somebody please explain that to me.
Right.
From Australia to Memphis, Tennessee, last February, the whole creek turned blood red. Blood red.
It always turned red down there
in Memphis. Yeah. The video dude showed that creek never turned red before. The whole thing was blood red.
It was blood red. I lived there. I remember things like that. Yeah. Why is the river red?
Yeah. Why? You don't know?
Don't know.
Revelation, the third largest river in the world.
In China.
Turned red.
Yep.
Third largest.
It was raining red in Lebanon a couple months ago. The water falling the sky was red.
Them the signs that he coming.
Yeah. See,
they showing you.
Yeah. See, in Revelations, it talk about how the water's gonna be turning red, man. River's gonna be turning blood red. Like, what is that? Like, I mean, the scientists gonna tell y'all, you know, that's algae blood. And they ask, has this ever happened before? No, we've never seen this before. Sounds familiar is all I'm saying. You can check the U.S. Geological Survey. The brother can pull it up now, and you can type in earthquakes the past day, week, month. It's been an average of 100 earthquakes every day. U.S. Geological Survey. And the Lord says it's going to be earthquakes in diverse places. That's prophecy. So the spirit that was dealing with the men of this Bible, It's the all-knowing spirit of the Most High, because John and them wrote that 2,000 years ago. Euphrates River. Y'all know about the Euphrates River? That's almost bone dry. That's Revelation 16. The Euphrates River gonna dry up. That deal almost dry, bro. It's the lowest it's ever been. Ever.
Hey, and then being the fact that we over here dwelling in the United States should be enough proof, because these things were spoken of in the time of Moses, in the time of Abraham, that we would be delivered to a strange land, in our enemy's land, and here we are. We understand we are amongst our enemies. Even if we understand that they're our own people, our enemies, that's no doubt. But when we go against these other nations of people, they are our enemies.
We are slaves. We all know that.
And we all understand that. But where would you see that at? Because before then, we were a mighty nation, feared by other nations. So it was prophesied this mighty nation will fall and go off into the land of the strangers, or those that sojourn amongst you. You feel me? So that's living proof. You are living proof of the prophecies written inside the scriptures. That was written thousands of years before we was even, our parents or grandparents or great grandparents was even thought about even dwelling upon this earth. Before they knew their name.
I'm going to read something you're talking about. This is in Jeremiah 17, verse 1. It says, the sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horns of their altars. Verse 4. And thou, talking to the children of Judah, and thou, or you, even thyself, shall discontinue from your heritage that I gave you. And I will cause you to serve your enemies in the land which you know not. For you have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
And so again, we knew Africa. Like he said earlier, we traveled all through.
When they say you will not be called no more to say that you were coming out of Egypt, but you will be coming out of the North Country.
And we're the only people on this planet who have discontinued or have forgotten our heritage.
And why the coast that we got picked up from, the same land, is called Judah.
And all the old maps.
All the old maps will say Judah, who we was. Say exactly who we was. And then they switched it and put slave coast.
So these things here be like proofs that we understand. We are living proof of this. We are walking proof. When you get out here and you dealing amongst just your enemies, you got to clock in, go to work. Is you pressed by that? You know what I'm saying? You got to pay these bills and things that we understand we are afflicted by. That affliction come from what? From our enemies.
We lead in jail.
Lead in jail.
We lead in council. We lead in AIDS. We lead in all these things. And we the smallest people. The only records that can tell you why these group of people have all these conditions on them is the Bible. Because us as men or women or whoever got to answer the question, why us? And this is the only book that explains. There's nothing else that explains it.
This is what you were talking about right here. This is Jeremiah 16, verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. And where we at? North America. And from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers.
That's that Abraham covenant.
That's talking about a whole nother Exodus. Exodus about Egypt, so we talking about a mass Exodus in the future of God's people. Now, if we're saying it already happened, it didn't happen in history before, you got to show it.
You got to show it.
Word
should be easy.
It ain't happened nowhere else like that. But that's that Jeremiah 17. You had something you was going to.
Yeah, and then another thing too, this is kind of what we hit on now. According to academia, which you probably know this, they say we're here because of the Hermetic exegesis, right? Which means we curse from black. Which the Bible never even said that being black was a curse.
Never.
Actually, in the Bible, having white skin is a curse. So
and blind hair is considered leprosy. It's a form of leprosy.
But we want to walk around here with blonde weave on.
Yeah, the thin yellow hair. That's what it calls.
Tripping, who taught you But Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live throughout the flood. He became the progenitor of the what races? Not the who?
Negroes.
Not the who?
Negroes.
Why you would say that?
not the Negroes. So Ham is the father of the dark races, but not you Negroes.
But who is he the father of?
They're going to tell you who he the father of. Come on.
But the who?
Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
Wow. Those are your 4 native families of Africa. You're not African. Many cultures live on the continent of Africa. We was one of them, the Hebrews, but we are not Hamites. This is how when the tongues were scattered at the nation of at the Tower of Babel, and men were scattered into their own lands. This is Northeast Africa right here. This is Egypt, Ethiopia. Sons of Ham settled in North Africa. Sons of Japheth took over mainly was Asia, and Shem is what you call the Middle East today. This is where the sons of Noah settled when they got up off that ark and took over. So Ham is the father of the dark races, but not the Negroes.
And this is studied in all seminary schools. And what's these dates on here?
2000 BC.
That's before
AD,
Christ.
117.
After the sack of Jerusalem. You see what I'm saying? And I only want to do is I want to give you these dates that they give this information. Yeah, so we could be on one accord with facts. It's not to come against you, it's to edify either our understanding or your understanding, and it sounds like we made some ground. So it's all praises. And we don't, and we just gonna keep going, man, all praises. Because you know, according to academia, that the worst thing you can ever do to a person is remove historically who he is.
I know, right.
And get that Deuteronomy 32:26.
Yeah, that's a good one. Scattered in his corner.
Yeah, it's corner. And I will make it. And so, why was it so important? Now we know scientifically and through anthropology that we, black people, I'm gonna say black people, people of African descent, were the first people made on the planet, right? We know scientifically that black is the dominant gene and white is the recessive gene. You see what I'm saying? How did you go from being first made, first created, to now we at the bottom?
Something happened.
Something happened. And the Bible explains it, and it gives you your forward journey. Not only does it explain why, but it gives you your forward journey. Then when you listen to the reasons why, it makes more sense. Like, it is wrong for me to take something for that man, because you'll punish me for that.
Yes.
It'd be wrong for me if I killed that man.
Yeah.
You'll punish me for that. It'd be wrong if your kids disrespected you and you their mother and their father. You'll be punished for that. So understand, if God is God and I started worshiping other gods,
He gonna what's gonna happen?
He gonna punish you for that. It's wrong if you sit here married to this woman and I, as another man, come into your woman. You gonna punish me for that. You see what I'm saying?
That's a crime against
So,
God.
so when we start understanding these things, why are we in this mess? And understand, we still doing that same mess today. And that's why it's more important for us to come back to the knowledge of who we are, so we can understand our place in the history, understand we gave the world its greatness. Every religion came out the continent of Africa. How do we let these people take our history, change it, and sell it back to you as if it was us?
And then make you deny your own.
And that's cold.
And then make you deny your own history.
That's messed up.
We written it and sold it back to you.
And then make you deny your own history.
And made you forget
That's why
your
brainwashing
own
comes in.
heritage. And that's why this is important. This book is just not about hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, clap your hands and do the two-step. You know what I'm talking about? This is a historical, which we're proving, historical account of who we are. And once we know who we are, we can return back to our God. The Bible says that He will hear our prayers, hear our calls, heal our land. And He'll come and return us home. That's what the brother just read. That's why this is important to know.
Yeah, right here, man. This is sister. She actually was a queen of England. The straight sister right here, named Charlotte Sophia. She was a descendant of the real King James, who was a black man as well. A lot of people lying on him. Really his brother, you know what I'm saying? But this shit right here named Charlotte Sophia. Now, when he got here, this brother named J.A. Rogers, this cat right here, he lived in the early 1900s. And he did his own, he financed his own travel, and he went over to Europe and went to the museums. Come to find out, during the Dark Ages, it was all black folk that ran Europe. Now, they got to think of the Dark Ages when there wasn't no light in the world, people didn't know what they was talking about, diseases and all that. Now, the Dark Ages when dark-skinned people ran Europe. So what we got in here is a couple of what they call coats of arms. And what the coats of arms is basically noble families of Europe. They used to draw their families, like in the coats of arms, and they publish it. I'm gonna show y'all this one about Britain real quick. Right here. This is Negroes and coats of arms of noble families, and it says British families, top left, the Moors of Yorkshire. You see right here, you can pass that around. Dude got that out the museums in Britain. Showing you black kings, queens, all that. You know what I'm saying? Because some people try to have you stay away from the Bible. They think of white people wrote the Bible. That is not the truth, man. Those are straight, that's royalty. Those are British royalty. Kings, queens, and like different rulers over there.
Right.
You know
monarchs.
Yeah, monarchs and all that. Noble. Now they not peasants. They straight it's nobility. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's where we at with that. Where you at? You got the Acts 11 you was at first? Acts 11 and 26 about them calling the
Right.
Okay.
That's us, right?
Yeah. That's Charlotte Sophia. Then they go into Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, so all the black folks live over there.
Then we were going to, I'm here
What happened? Well, you know the historical part of it is called the Renaissance. See, after the Dark Ages came the Renaissance, which means rebirth. They had lost power when the Brits took them down in Rome, back in like 200 AD. They had lost power. So we took down Rome. These the four brothers right here. I got the Imperial Rome book.
So we don't want to sit down Rome?
Yeah, we took down Rome. In like 200 AD under a black general named Septimius Severus. He was a brother from North Africa. We straight took down Rome, right?